That's a good tingo to mingo, kid. Hello, salutations, and greetings. He's purring, I assure you. My name's Margie. Maybe he's trying to get away from the dogs on my bow tie. I'm Heyoka, empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. Feelings are high today, man. Woo! Feelings, motions, deep as the oceans. Going through the motions. Oh my goodness! This morning they had a memorial service at the Fireman's Hall in Omaha, Nebraska, on Grover Avenue, Grover Street, anyway. I know right there where it is. I can picture it in my mind right there. Anyway, they had a memorial service for Sandy Barnes, who passed away, 73 years old. Last Facebook post, WTF. What the fuck? 73. She's an Aries. I think she was born like 3 days before my dad. Greg was the 25th, 48, I believe. And she was the 22nd. So she was right on the cusp. Anyway, I lost audio for a little bit. But besides that, it was just because they did a Zoom presentation. I wore my dog bow tie because I was representing again for the BBRH. And it's really cool, something that they did. There's an event that they hadn't because of the Rona. Everybody stopped living life because they're afraid that they're not going to be able to live life. It was really stupid. Seems like it would have had the adverse effect. It's like, oh my gosh, life is so fragile. You know, go out and live it and enjoy it and stuff like that. But no, everybody's been shut. Oh, it's just so weird, man. What this world is transitioned to, all because of fucking unimaginative fucking rich people, man. That's everybody is freaking living in shit because a very small group of very rich people that don't have good ideas about jack shit. As a matter of fact, they are put into the positions of authority just so they don't ever fix anything. Really? But yet they are gazillionaires and they throw around budgets like $3.5 trillion, and then people like me are just like, you know what? I'd be cool. Just let me have what I paid into Social Security and I won't collect, because I don't really think I'm going to be around in my 60s, honestly. So, you know, if I could just have that now, you know, nobody will ever have to hear from me ever again, and I can go on living a joyful life, you know, with everything I need. Because as long as I take my last breath, I'm gonna work. I'm gonna be working. Only I don't get paid for the work I do. No, I don't get paid for the work I do. Because I'm a light worker. I'm here. I'm Heyoka. I'm here to bring attention to things that are obvious that people aren't looking at. And I talk about the character defects in myself that I have. Just that maybe somebody one day will hear me say something and go, you know what? I have character defects in myself that are pretty freaking blaring too, and I could probably work on those. Every day I try to be a better version of the person that I was yesterday. Every day, and some days I fail. There are some days I fail. Went for a drive down to the coffee shop this morning after the service because it was wrapping up, and it was so hard, man. It's hard to see people that sad. My buddy Jim, he's got a great way of words too, and he's been doing blogs and like telling stories and stuff like that, and people like him. I mean, he's a very articulate man. He's a schmoozer, you know. And to see how sad he was, because he and Barnes had played golf for a number of years, you know. Barnes was in, you know, she spun a lot of plates. Us Aries, you know, we spin a lot of plates, and you know, if I get to live to be in my 60s or 70s, you know, I'll probably look in the mirror and see a lot of freaking characteristics that Barnes had, and I'll probably see those in myself, and that's how we're all connected, man. We look at people and behaviors, and either we can identify them because we like those behaviors, or we can identify them like, oh, I don't like them because we don't like those behaviors. But everything we see in everybody else is a direct reflection of how we're showing up in life. Accountability, man, it's the next wave. But are people going to be able to do it? We'll see. It's on my Facebook feed. That's Saturdays is usually big red shit, big red stuff, big red post about go big red, people going to the stadium to see Big Red. And I always think, man, if Big Red was straight up Satan, would people still go to this stadium and like worship this game and cheer in this game in the name of Big Red, you know? And Omaha is freaking definitely run by the Jesuits. And I like what Zach said today too, though. You know, he's like, you know, there's a lot of really decent Jesuit Catholics that don't realize that. How many Jesuit Catholics that don't even know what the freaking Jesuit oath is, and what it says, and how they're all about creating division, and they're all about creating war, and that they're a military order. They're just freaking little coward little rat bitches that do it in the cracks and in the crevices, you know? So it's not all. It's just it takes a small percentage to ruin anything, you know? Salt and lemonade, you know, whatever, salt or sugar and soup or whatever. You get what I'm trying to say. Is like, it doesn't make much to taint something. It doesn't take much to taint something. So you have all these freaking low vibrational beings that they don't really have much to offer the world. So they had to take the cheater way, the shorter, softer way, and then just, you know, go around, be compliant, just do what they're told, because they don't have enough sense to freaking come up with any creative, clever endeavors that they could set themselves apart, you know? And I know it's hard. Heck, I don't get paid for what I do. No. Everything I do is pick your price, you know? My cookies, my photography, my IT skills, my diagnostic skills, and so many areas. I don't know I was telling my buddy at the coffee shop, I'm like, I don't know what to charge for that stuff. I'm just like, tell me what you think it's worth, you know? Make it easier. But evidently, a lot of people don't think that they're worth very much because they see zero worth in me. That's how I know that people they value themselves very little in this world because they don't see the value in me. And I see value in everybody, and I don't care what they look like. I don't care what the color of their skin is. Although, actually, I am kind of I'm a freaking I don't like rich people. Yeah. I don't care what color they are. I don't care freaking how old they are. It's just people that have so much that it ain't that world anymore, man. And most of the rich people, they got what they got because they got it from somebody else. So, I mean, you know, it's all old money, dirty money. The only reason why people have positions, you know, and it's all nepotism. It's all who you are. It's all, you know, what blood is, what your bloodline is. People don't think that has anything to do with it. I did not get a job. The universe was smacking me freaking down. Ego deflation. You know, going to working for more like the third largest company on the planet to, I can't get a job. 67 times I got turned down. 68. It was around 70. 5 times from the office of the lottery. I'm like, what? And that's what I found. It's like, no, you ain't ever gonna get a job. You don't know nobody. Nobody, you know. And basically veteran status, when they say, oh, you can earn points on your application. No, that just lets some people, you know, that's a red flag for a lot of people won't hire just based on that. You know, all these words that they put on paper about we don't discriminate. Yes, they do. We don't do that. Yes, they do. Everything they say they don't do, they do. It's opposite world, man. I wish people would really start figuring this out. You know, elections have always been rigged. It's never been about the vote, man. Isn't it funny that presidential election, same kind of election, right? Takes days for California, days, 3-4 days. We don't know who won. There's so many votes. It takes days to count. But for the recall, they knew it like 8 o'clock that night. Oh, it's a done deal. It's all crap. Oh, Newsom is a Jesuit too, by the way. Look at where they all go to school. Look at where they all country club. They're all buddies. They're all related. It's all a business. False for profits. They don't care about people. They love it. They're fucking getting their rocks off because the cracks of society are getting wider, and they got a freaking surplus of people coming up, because that's why they like this stuff at the border, because it's unaccountability. You can't keep track of all those people. They can do whatever they want, and no one will ever know. That's why we were at Haiti, because that's why America has always been there, except for itself. Like Katrina, that bothered me for years. Why Obama, the bottom bitch, why he didn't go in, why he stalled and didn't go in and help the folks at Katrina, although he freaking jumped hoops to get down to the people in Haiti. Oh, because they freaking do weird, nefarious, gross, disgusting, perverted, nasty things, and they like to go where people are unaccounted for. And more people are going, oh my gosh, this adds up, because they're sure, he's an eloquent speaker. That's all he fucking has going for him, you know? I mean, his history is still suspect, you know? I mean, it's all pageantry. It's all a show. It's all scripted. Hollywood. DC is just the extension of Hollywood. You know what I never did? Hold on a second. $38.9. 34.9. So that's 4. There are only 4 degrees difference between the latitude of DC. So 38.9 is DC and 34 degrees north, straight up. It's all ley lines, energy fields. It's all freaking energy harnessing. If you freaking get the little freaking retarded human beings to go to these little pockets, like sports stadiums, on these specific latitudes and longitude, and get them to freaking, it's that energy spike, man. They collect our energy, you know. Oh, something scary happens. Oh, that feeds the energy and the energy spike. I mean, this stuff is real, and I'm really tired. I'm really tired of the freaking mental midgets that are just, you know, they explain it away by scientists that get all their knowledge from reading books that have been written by other people that have just read other books. I want to connect with the people that have had the life experience. It's the people with the life experience are the way showers, man. It's not the freaking little obedient little bitches. They're just going to sit in their little chairs and keep doing this. Year after year, sport after sport, event after event. You know? I bet people are freaking recruited into these freaking fields just based on their birthdays, you know, or like people they like, because I mean all the biggest everybody, what's the one place that, like, I don't know, most everybody has an ID, a driver's license. And that pretty much lets people know where you lived or you have lived recently and what your date of birth. So that, and every year, it's so important what dates of births are. It's so significant, you know. Dates of birth are very important, and times of birth are very significant too. You know, you put, in some places, you put your date of birth and birth time, you'll get the attention. You'll get somebody's attention. Right. It means something. you know? And all the people that have explained away for a long time, I'm really excited. I've been talking for a while about how the Great Awakening, to me, it's not necessary. It's going to be a different experience for every single buddy. Some people are going to have similar experiences, but the way I see it, the Great Awakening is just a waking up to a world that is different than you always thought it would be, or could be, or should be. Paul Simon. You can call me Betty. Mom's not dozing yet. I keep looking over. I'm like, don't cross your legs, Ma. Don't cross your legs. Legs gonna fall asleep, Ma. Legs gonna fall asleep. You don't like the pins and needles. So, it was just really hard to see people so sad. You know, I'm like, Mom. Ma. The kid, you know, because they played the very first song. They played a song, This World's on Fire, or something like that. And I was like, Ma, there's, you know, I was picturing the hall. I'm like, I hope all the little kids are like dancing around and stuff. But it was there's so many people, their hearts are just broken. They're just sad. They're just going to miss their friend. I just think that actually I don't have to miss her as much as I did before, because she was always in her living room and stuff, or at, you know, engagements and things like that. And now she's just wherever. Now she's everywhere, you know. And I think for people, you know, and a rule of thumb that I've always used, I always been a big believer about keeping the spirit of people alive by, you know, remembering. That's one of the reasons why I do these videos. I talk about, you know, I got some repeat stories, you know, in remembrance of people that loved their. They all taught me something. Every single person that their loss is significant to me, they taught me something. And I've taken something that they taught me with me wherever I go. You know, whether it was Jarrett Goetting up in Reading High School, man. He was such a cool young man, man. It's, you know, he was just like everybody's brother kind of guy, right? Big guy, right? You know, freckly, braces, just a cutie, and he was hunting with his buddy, and they went up an incline about 100, and he fell about 100 feet, and he lived. God blessed be, you know, miracles to be. He lived after falling 100 feet. He started climbing up the incline to get out of the gully that he was in again. He fell again, landed on his neck, and broke his neck. When it is our time, when God calls us home, it doesn't matter what the circumstances are. We got to go. And I believe that turnover is substantially high right now. It's unordinarily, you know, high right now. Because I know more people that are passing right now than any other time in the last 18 months. And it has nothing to do with the freaking pandemic. It has nothing to do with it. It's just when people's time is up. People's time is up. I did get to hear a story that was funny that I didn't know about Barnes 4 years ago. She had a medical a medicine interaction, and this doctor gave her this pill, and this doctor gave her this pill, and these pills didn't interact, and about freaking killed her. So that one of the doctors noticed, oh my God, after not looking at her, after the fact, and they reversed it. That was my understanding. But at one point, they had to intubate her and put her on a tube. So she was like 69 at the time, and there's like 6-7 people around the room, you know. She's a very popular woman. People are always there. And they're like, is there anything else, you know, anything you want to say before we put the tube in, you know, and you're intubated and you go, you know, and I think they put her in induced coma or something. Can't remember for sure, it was a while ago. And she looks around the room. She's like, y'all fucking suck. And I'm like, that'll be me, man. That'll be me. Cuss until the very end. You know, cuss until the very end. I had my season with Barnesy. Getting her, one of my highlights in life though was getting her. She just retired, and I got to get her. I got her on that rope swing in the woods. That was pretty funny. So, and her toffee and peanut brittle, man. And I'm gonna pass on the baking. I'm gonna make sure everybody in my community gets all the baking goods they need to make them feel good. You know. These are the people that we carry in our heart, you know. These are the ones that are good examples. These are the people, the women that I want to be like. These are the actions that I want to take. Whenever I feel like I'm going to just click into this 3D earth, I'm like, nah, I'm better on the 5D earth, so I'm going to go ahead and keep acting, you know, outside of myself and hopefully help people, make people feel better. You know, because it's gonna be hard. I was listening to Marge, and I love how these people are like, I don't want to alarm you. I'm like, I don't freaking care if people are scared, man. That's the only thing that's gonna wake people up is, everybody needs a little bit of trauma. Get hyper vigilant. Come up here with me. It's not so bad. Just meditate. Just get some what do you call it? What did I call it? Spiritual practices. Meditation, you know. That's my favorite. Anyway, the astrologists are just like, oh my gosh. Like the whole month of October is just going to be crazy, insane. It's just insane. It's always kind of goofy anyway, but it's just sometimes because people aren't getting it. If more people were getting it, it wouldn't take such extreme measures, but people aren't getting it. They aren't getting that but I think the more that people start recognizing that there's spiritual beings having a human experience, and this is what I was talking about at the lady at the Wendy's drive-thru. I said, more people start waking up and realize that that they're gonna start. It's hilarious. We're having here on life. And it's gonna come back, and some gonna get it back. So, you know, it's what kind of frustrates me sometimes is maybe technology will get to the point that cameras can do what our eyes do. Because our eyes do. She rubbing up against Luna. But there is actually so much orange in those hills that is just like, it was amazing. It was amazing. I mean, I drive to the coffee shop, and just the scenes. Kidneys hurt today, kind of. I've been trying to drink extra water. When I was younger, and for anybody that has, like, young kids, I was always the tomboy. I hated using public restrooms because from the frickin' time and us trauma kids, man, we're like human tuners. We're like, what? Live? What? Yeah. You know, some people get, I'm about 90%, 85, 90%. A lot of people get by me, psychopaths, you know, real good liars. They get by. I get, because I encompass to the goodness in people. But some people act like they have goodness because they watch other people and how other people that have goodness act, and they take on those traits, but they don't have those of their very own. And people can tell the difference. So anyway, fast forward when I was 12, Dr. Niazi. Remember Dr. Niazi, Ma? How many times I had to go see him? That sucked. Because I get like a bladder infection. I was not sexually active, but it was because so Dr. Niazi, I'd go see this Dr. Niazi. He was from India, and first they filled up my bladder with orange dye. A lot of it, like 3 pints. I know a pint is like a pint of blood. It was like 3 pints for it because it was. I'm like, you want to put all that in there? Like what? You know, so they could stretch it out to see if there were any leaks in it. That much fucking fluid could probably fucking cause leaks, I'm guessing, right? So it's like, and then I had to lay on an x-ray table after they filled my bladder with all that fluid, and I'm laying on an x-ray table, right? Now they go, okay, now pee. Now human beings are programmed not to pee on a table. I can tell you the difficulty that I had peeing on that table. It took about a half hour, 20 minutes, half hour long. They had to do the water trick. I couldn't do it because I'm conditioned. I was like, I got in trouble for so long to pee like in my pants, in the bed. I was never a bedwetter. But, you know, the unprogrammed, and then you want me to it's just hard. And people are figuring out all over the place. They're getting unprogrammed and they're having their own wake-up experiences. But anyway, so after we did that, then I had to go see him, and they took these metal rods that look like knitting hooks, but they were pointed at the end, and they stuck them up in my urethra to stretch out the tube between my bladder and my kidney. That's why I learned to breathe through shit, because I have had so many fucking painful experiences, you know, where people are just like, you know, don't move, don't react, you know. Now my body can't take it anymore. I can't not react to things. You get to a point you just can't hold shit back no more. So I was happy to see people out protesting today. They had signs and stuff like that. Anyway, the point of me telling that whole story is, why did I tell that story?
Where did they protest?
The signs I saw today at the people outside the, like on the main corner downtown, it was about, I don't know why. I mean, it's like it was about abortion stuff, legalized abortion. But I'm like, dude, they're fucking making people like either get this stupid toxic elixir, crazy mad science, or lose your job for teachers, people, you know, these mandates. It's just nutty, man. The whole world. It is what is happening. It's all the Bible stuff, Ma. It's all the Bible stuff. It's happening, and it's. I'm glad I live in this small ass town. I can tell you that, man. Oh, he's sacked out. Usually I make Mom go to sleep. I made the little cat go to sleep. Oh, yeah. You had that done twice as a... That freaking hurts, you know. And then I just like... I have conversations... I see people in life and I'm like, they've never had anything happen to them. You can tell. People that have just like... And they're like vacant human beings. Because I live in a highly... There's tourists everywhere. People from fucking Florida, Texas. Ma, you're my favorite thing from Texas. I gotta say something nice, because I ain't a fucking fan of Texans, man. But I think actually Mom was born around here, and then they hijacked her little ass, because she was part of the system in the 1950s where that's where they started the schools, where they took people in CPS, where they took kids from where they were fine to perpetuate a system of dastardly deeds, and they put her in they took her from her family and put her in an orphanage. That's what they did. And then the Robert Stinson Yoakum and Margaret Kelly, Irene, her middle name. I can never remember her middle. I wrote it down somewhere. Eileen or Irene? Eileen. Anyway, I don't remember. Anyway, and they're from New Mexico. He was a mayor somewhere around here. I don't know where, though. Anyway. So she had surgeries and learned how to walk again. You know. Man, we come from a hard... I mean, we've been through a lot. Our people... You know. And ain't nobody ever thought she was worth nothing. But me. Even my brother's a jerk. They don't get to know how freaking special she is, you know. And I mean, how many people? I don't know anybody else that ever had club feet and that walked. She's the only person I know. And then, as another storyline, if you're new to my tube, she was one of those things that they're still doing today. That when I was born, they cut her uterus in half and took out one of her ovaries without her permission. They fucking mutilated her. They created a hormonal imbalance so Big Pharma could perpetuate the Premarin storyline. The artificial hormone. When you could have fucking left the real ones well enough alone. Where is her compensation for all of the terrible just terrible things that this fucking society has done to her? And she just went along with it because she fucking knew better, man. Then she had me. I kind of became her voice. Picture me, 15 years old. I look kind of like this. This was my senior. So I was a couple years younger than this. Screaming at the fucking nurses at the nurses station because they were talking about my mom, how she was probably just another junkie strung out on diet pills from Central Valley. And my mom didn't do drugs or alcohol. And she was screaming at the top of her lungs. I went out on the nursing station and I yelled at them to do their fucking job, go get the doctor. And they might want to be careful about who's in there and shot and what they're saying. And I hope they fucking remember me for the rest of their career. And they never talk shit at the nursing station like that again. That was at Reading Medical Center. 1989. April 22nd. Yep. So... she came back from that. She's come back from a lot of stuff, you know, and the world hasn't done her any favors. So I made a promise long time ago. She's like, don't ever put me in one of those homes, Marge. I said, Mom, we'll be together. I won't put you there. And it hasn't been easy keeping us together. It's been very, very, very difficult. The thing of it is God has made sure that it has happened this whole entire that time. And for that, I'm grateful. Because I'm coming up on, it's October 2nd. It was October 18th I left Oregon. So I'm reminded. I'm not haunted by my past. I'm just reminded of where I was at this point, where I am now, and the gratitude I have of where I am now. So, if, I don't know, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put out my positive intention. I want to have a traveling center here one day, somewhere around Taos, New Mexico, within a 25-mile radius. There's all kinds of areas, and I invite anyone and everyone that comes across my tube, or you know, if we've ever come out and visit, I'll show you around. It's beautiful all year round. It's a very pretty place. You know, we can catch up, take a bunch of pictures, you know. Tell me about where you're from, and if it's cool, maybe I'll make a trip one day, you know. So it's happening. The world is changing. I'm just trying to, you know, because, you know, I realized today. I said, you know, Mom, I'm almost scared that things are gonna work out in my way because I'm so darn used to them not. You know it. How am I supposed to act if the world is a place that becomes more comfortable for me? I don't even know. I don't even know. So, anyway. But I think because Mom and I've had the lives that we've had, There were few years in there that we lived apart. There were a couple years, like when I was in basic and stuff. No, she lived by herself for like she didn't let me come back at 18. I was like, you're 8, but it was what her parents did to her. So, anyway, I've been on my own since I was 18. Well, longer than that. I've been on my own a long time. And I've always seen, it's weird because it's like my whole life, all this stuff that's coming out, this now, that's my whole life has been like Reading. In Reading, everybody knows where Lost Lanes is, where they have the freaking sacrifices, animal and whatnot. People freaking, there's 800,000 people freaking a year that go missing. I still think the federal government still uses every one of those numbers as population, but if they deduce 800,000 people for like the last 25 years, what's the the population of the planet? They fudge numbers, man. They make everything up. And then they say, we need these budgets, appropriation of funds, because they all make too much. You know, when people are freaking taking home $220,000 a year, that's like 17,000. Well, no, that's 107. That's the breakdown for. Mom gets 740. I get less than 1,000. I'm a veteran. I was in Operation Iraqi bullshit. Heck, I should get 100% disability just for fucking flipping George Bush off on 9/11. That scumbag still walks free. He has more money than fucking God, man. The freaking homeless, communities that could be built. They're just fucking hogs, man, and they're gross. And they're all cokeheads as far as I'm concerned. Dude, cokehead isn't a fucking poor people drug. And it's just as prevalent as it always is, because it's all for the creepy guys on top that freaking are so twisted up that their freaking man parts don't work unless they creep it up real good. Creep it up real good. Do real creepy stuff. Yeah. I know it. I ran across one of those perverts when I was 10 months old. They exist. I don't know. I'm looking for other people like me. I know they exist. Does your hip hop? Do you walk on the side of your feet? Is your gait fucked up? I'm just glad I'm one of the storylines, and God bless them. I know freaking 4 women on the top of my head right now that their dads did weird, twisted stuff to them in their cribs. Happens more than people want to admit. And I think a lot of people are waking up to this recognition, and they're getting triggered, and people like me are here to help. It's all right. As a cellular being, you aren't who you were 7 years ago. So if the event happened more than 7 years ago, it's like shedding skin, like a snake. And there's spiritual disciplines that people can do to get past all kinds of trauma. I've had lots, and it doesn't stop coming. Traumatic events, shocking events. Surprises aren't necessarily good, and I can get a freaking good jolt like, oh my God, Mom, your toe. We've been soaking it for 2 months. But it's like we make progress. It goes through different evolutions, but it's better than it was, man. It's better than it was, so. And she don't like going to the doctor. She don't. So whatever I can do to keep her out of the doctor. Because the doctors around this place are a fucking joke, man. They're one of those, they feed the system, so they're catering to the once we make that shift and people become more significant and they matter more than money, because it's coming, and we could freaking stop terrible things from happening if people just keep fucking trying to be a better version of themselves. Yeah. So Anyway, I think that's about all I got for now. I run my mouth. I can always tell when I used to go to freaking club meetings. It was like the talk. I thought 30 minutes was good. And when people talk more than 30 minutes, I was like, man, they really have a really high opinion of themselves today. Some days, man, I get jabbering. I'll talk for almost an hour. There's been talks I've done an hour, but Mom and I are gonna watch some Sheldon, huh, Ma? The little kid is still asleep. Mom likes that little cat. Mom likes that little cat, huh, Ma? He's real soft. Tango. He's verbal. He was Sass got up last night. She was barking about midnight. So I came out and I turned on the TV, got her some water, let her walk around a little bit, and then went and laid back down, and Kitty was fussy. Because we had it overnight. He stayed in overnight last night for the first time. And then he woke up again at like 4:30, and I just stayed up. I was like, F it. I kept going outside. Did it freeze? Did it freeze? Please don't freeze, man. Don't freeze, man. Have a good night. Thanks for stopping by. And yeah, people are waking up. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad evening. Peace.